So if you clicked on this video, you probably are interested in getting a walking pad. And as someone who is chronically indoors, I feel like this was a very worth it investment for me. So today I'm going to be telling you 5 reasons why you should invest in a walking pad.
When I lay my eyes on you from afar, I could swear I thought you fell from the stars. Think about you day and night, girl, even when you're not around. I don't want it if it's not with you. I'm just keeping it straight.
Okay, I kind of broke the screen because I overstepped and I stepped on the actual display, but it still technically works as it should. You just can't really see what your speed is or how long you've been walking for, so it's fine. But the first reason why you should get one is because you can move without thinking. As you can see, I'm walking and vlogging at the same time, so I guess it's kind of practice for whenever I do this in public, because I'm able to multitask. But then of course in real life you have to be more aware of your surroundings. I'm overthinking it at this point, but you get what I mean. But moving, becoming active, basically becomes passive, which means that you can do other things and it becomes extremely easy to just move. For me personally, I like to use this time to watch some anime, maybe go on my phone, answer some emails, and yeah, like the limits are pretty much endless. Whatever light work that I like to do on the computer, I could probably do it while walking. I don't even think about it at this point, and it gives me no excuse to not be active, or at least not move my body just a little bit, right? But as you can see, I got my iPad set up there. This is what I like to do. Just press play, start watching an anime. It is a little bit far. I can see it perfectly fine. I can read the subtitles perfectly fine. Okay, let's stop that. And then I have AirPods on, so you can watch anime in peace without anyone knowing you're watching anime. Plus, I have this like little fan that gives me a little bit of airflow, and it's not that loud while I'm walking, just so that I don't overheat too much while being active in this tiny room. I feel like I'm gonna do the rest of the video on this walking pad, but the second reason is that it's good for your mental health. And while that may not be just a walking pad specific thing, or going outside or moving your body in general is very good for your mental health, but walking is great. Maybe you're in a neighborhood where it's not that safe to go outside at night and you want to walk at night, or the only opportunities you can walk is at night. A walking pad is a great option because you don't need to leave the comfort of your own home to walk. But not only that, it feels like whenever I walk, maybe like it has to do something with your blood flow and how much more oxygen goes to your brain when you're walking. But it feels like I process my thoughts a lot better. I generate more ideas a lot better, especially when I'm not listening to music or not watching a video or watching anime, which is kind of ironic because it's what I always do. But I do take some time to not listen to something and just walk. Of course, this would be the most ideal if you were to do it outside, because you have nature all around you. You have more places to see, more places to look, instead of just looking at the same old wall for like an hour. But it gets the job done. If you feel anxious or unmotivated, sometimes a walk can help to clear your mind, even if it's just really short, 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes 5 minutes is more than enough. If not more than enough, then it definitely makes a big difference. You're moving your body, you're getting more active, but not necessarily in like an overwhelming way to the point where you have to wait for your body to recover, if that makes sense, in comparison to strength training. I'm not looking down on strength training. I actually really love strength training, but it's just there are two different types of things that you should both be doing. Basically, what I'm saying is that a walking pad is therapy on a belt, or just walking in general. So the third reason is that it's no gym required. Kind of. Let me explain. You don't have to put on workout clothes. You don't have to drive to the gym. You don't have to interact or be around other people if you're just an introvert like that. You just walk while you're doing what you're already doing. And maybe sometimes this isn't the best scenario, because I can see downsides to this, to where maybe you want that interaction with other people. You want, like, maybe they're your subconscious accountability partners, and you need them for you to keep going, to work out, to motivate you, right? Especially since environment plays a huge factor with what we do. So I can kind of see that as a downside, especially if you're like me, where I have my room where I do pretty much everything. I eat, sleep, play, work out in this room, but it all comes with balance, right? Also, my arm is really tired already, specifically my shoulders from holding up my camera, and I maybe I could use this as practice because I need to vlog. And like I said before, I know that strength training is important. Whether you do calisthenics or weight training, doesn't matter. You just need to do it, period. But that's the thing too, like I legit don't go to a gym. I just stay at home, I do calisthenics, bodyweight workouts, and that's more than enough for most people, in my opinion. If you prefer the gym, my brother prefers the gym, then go for the gym. Like, no, you have more than one option, or you have many different ways that you can work out, and that's honestly like a huge privilege that everyone should be grateful for. But basically, walking plus whatever thing you do for mates calisthenics is honestly a cheat code, because it helps me build consistency with minimal friction. It just makes it super easy, super brainless, and I don't have to think about doing what I need to do. 4. I'll bear it back. My my camera's out of battery. Don't worry, that took less than a minute. I didn't really ruin my walking streak, if that's even a thing. But I come prepared in these sorts of situations because I have a spare battery, and it happens a lot. The PowerShot V1 doesn't have exactly the greatest battery life in the world, so I have multiple. Anyways, 4. It works even in a tiny room, especially like what I have here. My room is not big at all, so having a full-on treadmill would be a little too much in my opinion, although I would really love to have one just so that I can actually run. But then again, if I wanted to run, I would just go outside, right? But when I'm not using this thing goes up against my wall. As you saw in the intro, it literally takes up a little bit amount of space near my closet. And when I need to go walking on it, all I have to do is just lay down on the floor and start walking. I absolutely love my setup again because I'm able to go on my phone, I'm able to watch some anime, I'm able to do some light work while being active. Something that I would wanna maybe upgrade to in the future is an actual standing desk that's a little bit wider, because the little desk that I have now is a little too narrow. The walking pad doesn't really fit underneath, so I can't really slide it in there for me to actually do some work. One day we will get one. But in all honesty, most walking pads are portable, so you can probably get away with anyone on like Amazon or something. I got mine specifically off of Amazon. Unfortunately, the one that I have is unavailable. I will still try to link to it if you're interested to see the actual listing, because it's still up for some reason. But I will link maybe like an alternative that I would probably buy if this one were to break down in the description if you want to go check it out, because walking pad, game changer. I'm already sort of breaking a sweat, but that's also because it's kind of hot in my room. If the room is smaller, it's going to heat up quicker, which will make me sweat faster. Anyways, yeah, it works in a tiny room. Last but not least, it makes you more productive, which is kind of a combination of everything if you think about it, because if your headspace is cleared, you get more blood flow, it's convenient, which means you could probably do it at any time that you want, then yeah, you're definitely going to be a lot more productive. Just being able to do something like this gets you motivated to do some more other stuff, to be more productive. And I know like everyone is saying like motivation is bad because it's not consistent. What you need is discipline. I understand that's true, but I want to use motivation whenever I have it. And like if you have motivation, then why not use it, right? Anyways, being on a walking pad allows me to procrastinate less. If I'm stuck on my desk, maybe I'm playing on a video game for too long, or I'm procrastinating on a certain project and I'm just like watching YouTube videos to be productive, I'll put down my walking pad, or for some days I'll have it just on the floor for the whole day, just so that whenever those moments happen, I'll just put my shoes on and start walking. And even though walking technically takes up part of your day, I end up being more productive because I don't waste my time doing things that I don't need to be wasting. And if I do end up wasting time by doom scrolling on Instagram or whatever while I'm walking, at least I was active and I was putting in some work, getting my steps in. This is such a side note, but I really hope that the noise from the treadmill isn't too bothering, or it isn't too distracting from me speaking to you. But that's pretty much it for this video. I've had this walking pad since March of 2023, so it's been over 2 years now, and it's working great. The only sort of maintenance that I've done to it was just to lube the belt, and it already comes with lube or like oil or whatever it is. So all you need to do is just put some on every few miles or so. For me personally, I haven't really been keeping track, and I can't really keep track anymore because the display is broken. But once I start feeling that the belt isn't as smooth, or it starts to feel a little bit different, then I'll put some on. And that isn't for like a while after each like application. So that's the only sort of maintenance that I need to do with this walking pad. And in all honesty, I'm more than ready to purchase another walking pad, maybe something that is more faster. This top speed is 3.8 miles per hour, which is more than fast enough for like a brisk walk. But if I wanted to do some maybe like light jogging or something, I probably would want to go for something more beefier. But then like this thing is tiny, right? So I'm rambling at this point, by the way. So if you wanted something with more speed, you would need to get something larger, which means you need a longer belt. And a longer belt, more power, means the whole unit is going to be larger overall. But I really hope that I convince you to purchase one of these walking pads, because it has probably been one of the greatest investments that I've done for my health ever. And if you don't believe me, watch this whole video over again. That's it for me for today. I really appreciate you for watching. Again, links to this will be in the description, to a similar one in the description. Thanks for listening. I'll see you tomorrow.